Hello! So in the last video, we got all the edges carpeted and finished and everything. And so in this one, we're going to start working on the stud work in preparation for the cladding. So along these walls, we're going to be having like a tongue and groove effect board running all the way down. And we're going to need something to fix that board into. So we're going to be running ribs down all of the walls to give fixing points for it. And then we're also going to need to stud out the area for the shower. And I've also got a wardrobe kind of thing that needs to be studded out here. And so for the wall ribs, I've got these 2x1 battens that I've actually thickness down to be slightly thinner than 1 inch to give me extra room on the inside. Of course, this isn't completely necessary. It depends whether you have a thicknesser of some kind, but for me, the effort seemed worth it to maximize all the space inside. And it also gave it a much cleaner, less fluffy face that should be easier to work from. So I'm going to be using self-tapping screws to fix these ribs in place. The issue is, all the metal ribs that I'm planning on fixing the wooden ribs into are covered by insulation. But fortunately, I thought ahead on this, and that's why I scanned the interior of the van. So if I'm looking at this corner here, for example, what I can do is just go in and, oh, it's a little bit of a mess, but I can kind of make it out. Maybe the other side's better. We can just assume it's a mirror match. There we go, that's much better. So along here, I can kind of see where that metal rib might be and where the insulation is. I guess you could do a tap test, but for me, having this is just a sort of good thing to verify what I think was behind here. Same goes on here. I can see that there is a rib up here somewhere. That's it. And then we've obviously got the one down here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do much with that. So I'm not quite sure where to start. I figured the best bit might just be from the back corner and work my way down on both sides. And so to begin with, I want to get a rib running up here. But before I do that, I've got the bed frame here that I need to account for a little bit of space around. I want this bed to be disassemblable should I ever need to transport a big thing in this van. And so when I fix the cladding in place, I need to make sure I've got enough room to knock this up off from the fixings below and get them out the van. So whatever I do up this corner here, there needs to be clearance for the bed. As for this wire, honestly, I've got no idea. I might have to reroute it. I am a little bit concerned about this. Yeah, man, I don't know. So it was at this point I realised that I got the carpeting and the wall battening processes the wrong way round. I should have done these wall battens before laying the carpet so that I could hide them in the carpet once they were all fixed in position. This is all explained in my last video though, where I carpeted the van. I think this might be about the only time that bendy timber is handy to have. And of course, the one time I need it, the majority of this stuff is bloody straight. Damn it, really? Oh no, that's a bit. Gotta be that one. While it would have been nice to use a standardized spacing for these uprights, such as 600mm or 400mm, with the inside of a van, you kind of just get what you're given. There's all these bits of random metal sticking out that stops you from putting a batten where you want it, and realistically, I'm not working with any sheet goods here that are going to dictate my stud spacing that much. So here you can see what I did while carpeting the back doors. Basically, I pre-carpeted the batten and then fixed it in position. And while fixing it in position, I was frequently opening and closing the door to make sure it finished right up against the inside pillar of the van. This would also ensure that I didn't have any carpet poking out beyond the seal and creating an area for water to get in. Okay, so all the verticals are in position now. The next thing I need to do is start figuring out sort of how to put the horizontal dividers in certain places. And so to do this, I've purchased this bit of kit, which is called a pocket hole jig, and a lot of the woodworkers here might be interested to hear my position on these things, considering how shunned they usually are within the circles of woodworkers. My position on pocket hole jigs is do whatever the f you need to do to join two bits of wood together. I know that I like to over-engineer things, but it doesn't mean I don't see a time and place for these. In fact, I'm actually really, really happy I've finally got an excuse to buy one of these things so I can put like 10 battens into position in this van. So around this window, for example, I need a sill below it, but I don't have anywhere to fix the frame into because it is just all insulation here. The only options I have is to fix into this batten and this one. And then similarly, that will allow me to get a batten running down here that I can then fix into this one and the one that's due to be here. At the moment, there is nothing here. And so I need a way of being able to fix sideways into the battens that are already here. And a pocket hole jig is perfect for that. Saying all that, doesn't mean I know how to use these things. Am I going to read the instructions? Absolutely not. Ooh. Okay, I should probably read the instructions. So the way this works is pretty simple. It just clamps a bit of wood in position. You then drill through the guide bushes with the supplied drill bit, and that creates 2 pilot holes that you can screw through. So then, in theory, try and get it so the reveal at the bottom is the same as on the side. This turned out to be a perfect system to fix the horizontal battens into place. In fact, I even ended up giving an impromptu demo to my neighbour, who you'll probably end up seeing more in this series. Hello, John. You alright? Yeah, you're like going at an angle. I'll show you on the next side. Okay, so I've got a few of them in position, and as a proof of concept, it works absolutely fine. But as for the rest of this area, I can't really figure out where I need to get them just yet, and so I might just have to add them at a later date. Same goes for the wheel arch here. I know something funky needs to happen there, but there's no point in me just haphazardly putting battens there and just guessing where they need to be. I might as well just fix them as of when I need them while I'm doing the cladding. And so now I need to figure out this area. Same thing's happening. We're going to get the battens down and everything. Just got a few more cables to avoid here. Yeah. Right, so on these back doors, you can see I framed the outside, but I haven't got anything across the middle yet, which is something I definitely need because I need something to support the boards that are going down here. But what I'm thinking is, instead of just arbitrarily placing them here, I'm going to place them in a position that allows me to have this kind of built-in recess in the back door that I could use for storing thin items like I don't know, phones, maybe like books or something like that. You know, the bed's going to be here. It'd be nice to just have something that I can slot things into. We're going to go for it. To figure out the vertical location of these cutouts, I used the cladding as a spacer to ensure that once the cladding was in position, the recess would be in a convenient position and wouldn't end up finishing on one of the joins in the cladding, for example. I then set a laser line up to this mark on the door, marked a position on a stick that showed me how high the laser was from the floor on the right side of the van, and then moved this stick to the left-hand side of the van so I could see if there was any tilt on the laser. I've said this a few times before, but I'll say it again. You can't really use lasers on gravity settings in vans because you can't always be sure that the ground you're parked on is level. By using the laser in a fixed position as I am here and measuring off the floor of the van, I can be sure the horizontal line the laser is casting is parallel to the floor. Alright, I think I'm getting carried away now, but seeing as under the bed here is going to be a garage area, what if not only do I have an indent up here for personal items like books and phones and stuff, but down here I have an indent for tools, more tools. I don't need this, but I'm going to do it. Like imagine, come on, like wrenches, spanners, other mechanical tools that, you know, make it look like I know what I'm doing. That'd be awesome. Now, if you like this idea and you want to replicate it yourself, one thing I didn't do, and I definitely wish I did, was standardize this recess. It turns out you can actually buy these pre-made camper van mesh things, and they come in set sizes. And so if I thought forward a little bit, I would have sized these recesses to match that. However, me being me, I just went for it, eyeballed it, and now I'm struggling to find any mesh that will fit it exactly, so I'm going to need to go for some sort of bespoke solution. I don't doubt I can get it looking good. It's just going to take a bit more time for probably not a lot of return. All right, so I'm moving on to the finishing touches now. I am thinking in the shower area to have another kind of built-in recess into the wall here, because that'll be really good for storing things like soaps and shampoos and stuff without having any kind of protruding shelves or something like that in such a tight area. And so the way I chose to do this was by creating a plywood box all pocket screwed together, but I made sure the bottom had a slight angle on it to help the water run off and stop any pooling. I then cut a recess out of the insulation, reapplied foil tape to create the continuous vapor barrier once again, and then slotted the box in position and sealed all of the joints. And with that, all the wall battening was done. The only thing I haven't shown in this video was the sliding door on the side of the van. I just found that filming the process was a little bit restrictive on space, and so I didn't bother. But I'll see you in the next video where we're going to begin the stud work.